Hello and welcome to yet another yapping. This one will probably be very short, and it has nothing to do with the shortness of the finger I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the thumb. There is seldom a time in my life where I go around checking what I have and do not have on my body. I have the fingers. I have all 10 of them. I have some stuff looking strange in my hands. I don't know what that is. I have some sort of watery thing on my wrist. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, you know how it is. Once upon a time, however, I really hurt my thumb. I was cutting sheets of metal, and I got a big metal sheet straight over my fingers and most of it on my thumb. I was on sick leave for, I think it was like 4 weeks or something like that. This was way back on the old times, but still. And during that time I was using snuff, and I was using loose snuff, as we call it here in Sweden. That means that you have to make sure that you make the snuff packed so you can have it under your lip, so it doesn't just go down your throat or your outside of your mouth so easily. And with one thumb missing, I couldn't do that. Suddenly I was totally handicapped. Now, it was on my left hand, so I could do my writing and all that stuff as well. But that was just a bit of a problem. But it wasn't all 4 weeks. Pretty soon I could take my bandages off and everything was fine again. Later, in another job, I hurt my right thumb. And that was not as bad. I think it was only 2 weeks. But I wrote a little, I don't know what I was supposed to call it, some sort of essay or something about, is my thumb ruling the world? No, it wasn't. It was just ruling the work I did. Because suddenly it was my thumb who did everything wrong, because it wasn't there where it should be. And now it was on my right hand, suddenly. Now, I was writing a lot with a normal pen and paper by that time, so I had to start using my left hand to write. So I more or less used 2 weeks of my sick leave to just train myself to write with my left hand. And to be totally honest, I have trained now and again just in case. It doesn't look as good as when I write with my normal right hand, but still I do it. Now, why do I think about this suddenly? I mean, the thumb is always there, it's always in the way, and you can always do stuff. Well, first of all, I've never thought of the thumb as something important or something that will make us stand out in the world. But it does. We and some other monkeys are actually using that thumb to get stuff. We can climb with it, we can do stuff, we can absolutely connect with other stuff. Now, I'm not using it much when I'm doing the keyboard, but otherwise when I'm holding a hammer or a cup of coffee or whatever, I mean, I can't even, I'm trying now, but yes, it does feel a lot of awkwardness if I'm not using my thumb to keep my cup of coffee where it should be. It worked though, so it wasn't that bad. But what if we didn't have it? How much of what we ever do would I ever be able to do? And the reason I was starting to think about this was I was driving around in my bus. It's always driving around in my bus, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's only 2 more years and then you will get out of it. But I was suddenly noticing that I was steering with my thumb. I was putting my thumb in the middle of the steering wheel and starting to turn the wheel around. Now, normally I don't do, I don't know how I steer my bus, but I was reacting to this. What am I doing? And I stopped immediately and started to use both my hands and all that. And I was thinking, how did that go? How did that happen? Why did I do like that? Because I can? Well, that's probably the most normal answer I can give myself. But I was really confused about this. And then I started to remember the talk about some animals like the koala and all that. Many animals can grab stuff. I heard about some bears that nowadays have been evolving so that they can grab stuff in order to climb trees and stuff, because they're more often on in the trees than they are on the ground. On the ground, they don't need to grab anything. But when they are climbing, they need to do something. So there was some type of bears that suddenly had the ability to grab stuff. And I was fascinating. Well, not much about the animals. They are in that nature I was talking about earlier. But the fact that my thumbs are so usable. Come on. I suddenly realized that, okay, the other fingers are very useful as well, but as long as I have one long finger and a thumb, I can probably do a lot. Most likely I can do most everything. And I can use any finger and the thumb. I just need the thumb. What happens if I don't have the thumb? I'm going to get handicapped. Literally handicapped. Now, I'm not totally sure that you have ever thought about your thumb, but this was something that fascinated me for almost a day. And I tried to see if I could just steer the bus with the thumb again. And yes, I could, but it was awkward. It was not really how you should. But I think it was snow underneath, and it was easier to get the wheel turned because I had some help from the snow and the ice and stuff. So it might be like that, but still, it is so fascinating. Have you ever thought about your thumbs at all? Perhaps I'm leaving you with some strange thoughts from now on, but sorry about that. Well, that's about it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.